Hi everyone, this is Willem.
This is Tim.
And once again, I messed up the recording, so here's another episode of Hear Me Out Pitch. Well, sadly, it's the same night that we started before, and Willem was dumb, and I reached my foot out while stretching, and I bumped my laptop.
He kicked it, flying across the room. Broke into like 7 pieces.
I had to
go fix it. Call a wizard.
Did Tyler just pull in?
Maybe.
Let
me check.
Why would he take that entrance to go in, though? No, and you're all going to hear this because this is funny.
No, he's at home.
Okay.
That might have been his sister or his dad.
Do they work out at the gym here?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, we are recording. So basically, what time did we start? An hour. So an hour, it was almost 8 when we started. So a good half an hour got sucked away, and it was really disappointing that we lost that because there were some funny bits. But you know what? It's all good because now we just get to give you a clear cut of what we got so far. So today we are doing another original idea, and so far we have gone with the idea that Tim talked about a while ago.
I think it was the last episode.
I think you told these ideas before we did the teddy bear. No, wait, no.
No, it was
the She
2
Who
episodes
Laughs.
ago.
Yeah, it was the She Who Laughs.
2 episodes ago. That's when we decided on the She Who Laughs.
So we are doing another female wanderer in a way, and we are working on the girl in the purple hat. And really quickly, for those of you who love the Curious George movies, for me, that's kind of how I've been inspired by this movie so far. And just for fun, while we're talking about some of these scenes, imagine it animated like the 2005 Curious George movie. And so far, we've come up with a few scenes. We come up with the names of the 2 original characters, with the 2 main characters. They are Violet and Micah. Violet is from the outside. She is our wandering purple hat woman. And Micah is from... What's the word, Tim?
Compound. I struggled for the last hour. I've been struggling trying to find the right word for it. Essentially, how the world works. It is always raining. Always. Like I explained a couple episodes ago, in middle school, I read a book. Coincidentally, one of my friends, Micah, was in that class.
That's funny.
It is. I thought it was ironic that we picked the name Micah.
How ironic.
But we were reading a book that it was old. It was a very old book. It was before we understood that the rain on Venus is acid rain and not regular rain.
Acid rain.
Anyway, basically, the story that I read, it was about this group of school children, and they were at school, and it was a very rare day because it stopped raining for the day, and it never did that. And so I had the idea that it's kind of a little bit inspired by that. This world is raining always. It never stops raining. And spoiler alert, it's never gonna stop raining.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
I don't want that aspect of that story. I like the idea that it's forever raining. And I'm imagining like the outside world. It is all the Amazon rainforest, but like twice as big. Bigger trees, bigger animals, everything.
Do you think it would be cool? I'm just imagining that they reached like an eye of the storm in a way. There's just an opening, and just for a little bit, they just look up, and it's just blue.
I'm imagining more like they climb to the top of a mountain that peaks through the top of the clouds.
Maybe that could be their goal. She's always wanted to see the sky.
Or maybe she we'll get to that in a second.
Well, because you were talking about how Micah lives in these compounds. These compounds
Yes.
are all over this world.
So there's So I wanted to touch on that before we get into the meat.
The meat.
The meat.
Delicioso.
The way this world would work is, it's just jungle everywhere. I'm imagining, it's nestled. There's all these compounds, and they're essentially just neighborhoods. They're very large neighborhoods, a few hundred people living in each one.
How do they get their supplies? Do they communicate with each other? How is it futuristic? Are we thinking more?
I don't think futuristic or past. I think it's more. It's just a different type of world.
Do they have tunnels underneath that they just go to so they avoid the rain?
Yeah, maybe there's a few tunnels they go through. Like an
underground
highway kind of
thing. It doesn't have to be. We don't have to go too much into the world building because this one, again, if it's this cutesy animated, I imagine it more for family, kids, whatever. So we want it to be smart enough for parents to go, "This is awesome." Yeah,
I'm imagining it's very, very much like Curious George. Speaking of Curious George, every now and again.
Do you want there to be a monkey in this movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And we'll name him George.
We won't name him. We should give him a name, George. That's stupid. Oh, curious. Just like that fast the thing. Oh, he's a rather curious guy. What should we name him, George? Nah, that doesn't work. No, they should be like, what should we name him, George? No, that's not a good name. And then he walks all over Micah and he's digging in Micah's bag. Oh, he's kind of curious, and then he just flies away. And you're like, oh, and that's it. It would just be funny. And it can be animated. You guys can totally imagine the Curious George from the movie, but just a little bit bigger. Aww.
Yeah.
Aww. Anyway.
Also, I'm imagining that the girl in the purple hat looks like Maggie from Curious George. The Ted's love interest.
Aww. Okay, then we can't have Micah looking like Ted.
Yeah.
Maybe a younger version of Ted. So
like that. I'm imagining she kind of looks like that.
I just imagine her in a white,
very
black outfit and then just big. Oh, and we need to talk about the hat because we lost that information.
We did.
She is huge.
This
huge umbrella hat.
She is wearing a tent on top of her head, essentially. It is that big. It's massive. From the edge of the brim across, it's 10 feet. Maybe 6.
I think 10. Honestly,
10. Bigger.
7.
Bigger is better.
The more comical, the better.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't need to emphasize too much. He's just in this colony. No one really walks around outside. Maybe sometimes people do to gather. The only time people do is they run outside to change the buckets because water isn't a shortage here.
Yeah.
They have filtration systems. Or they always have to go outside and make sure that their, the damming process is safe because they do have those underground wells. Or do we want to do giant bridge? No, I think I just think in a world that's perpetually raining, it would be so
maybe
scary to do tunnels.
Maybe not tunnels, but there's pipes on the surface and just go through the jungle.
Yeah.
And
I think that sounds good.
They're glass. I'm imagining a little bit futuristic with these, where it's just the white steel beams, and that are just going across and around these
like what you see in the aquarium.
Tubes. Yeah, like what you see at the aquarium. When you walk through the shark tunnel at the aquarium, something like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm imagining, because then you can see outside.
And they just have little mechanisms they made. You guys we'll fill in the blanks later, but the most important part is, I think I want Micah to have the same issue Violet did. You kind of mentioned that. Because Violet is, we said Micah was probably late teens, maybe, or 16, 17.
I'm imagining Micah's 16, and Violet would be 30.
Yeah.
So zero love interest. It would be like a Kelsier and Vin type of situation where Violet is more of a mentor, older sibling kind of character.
A better version of that teacher from Bridge to Terabithia.
Maybe he's like 14. Because a little bit younger. Because the older you get, the more you're treading the line of, well, maybe it is a love interest kind of thing. But I want to stay as far away from that as possible. Maybe he's 14 and she's like 30.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I've been imagining. And maybe the most we'll get about her backstory is that she used to be like him, living in another compound far away. And maybe he's like, "You mean in the jungle?" And she's like, "Past the jungle." And that's all we'll get. And she'll be like, "I was bored, and I didn't want to live in the compound, and I got sick of the people there, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make me a purple hat, and I'm gonna leave." So she did.
She saw like a weird bird that has like a weird canopy head.
Yes.
And she went, "You know what? I can make that. I can fix that." And we could see her like flashbacks of her looking at certain animals and how they do things and how they like fold, compose, and she like. And again, I have this idea. She has like a Mary Poppins purse, and she just pulls stuff out of her bag. Like I imagine Micah tumbles down, Alex the Lion style, down this hill because he's like, "I want this to be outdoors." I mean, I imagine he wants to see more than just what he's at. He's bored, he's like bored.
Her. He's sick of seeing the same thing all day, every day. Maybe he sees a massive bird fly by, and he's like, "What would it be like to be the bird?"
Yeah,
kind of thing. And then
how would a bird fly in something so rainy though? That's. I just imagine they're huge.
Yeah, you know the giant bird in Fallen Order.
Yes,
on Kashyyyk.
Yeah,
like that big.
Yeah. Ginormous.
Gigantic.
Or imagine again, they have to learn to they adapt to have these big canopy things so they can still fly and the rain just cuts and they just streamline through. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I just imagine she just learned stuff. But
so here's what I'm kind of imagining for the very start. Right. He gets bored. We'll have 10 minutes of him, we'll see the compound. A little bit of the compound, and he'll kind of get bored and be like, "You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go explore." And everybody's telling him not to, and he's like, "My life is mine to live. I'm gonna go." And so he leaves. Maybe he is sent outside to repair a leak on one of the tunnels, on one of the tubes. And
maybe he gets separated. Maybe he is like helping.
Maybe
he's an apprentice
out helping it, and he's like,
and he gets swept away.
I'm kind of, yeah.
What if he gets swept away?
Yeah.
And he goes down this giant ravine, gets knocked out, and because maybe he was daydreaming. He's a daydreamer, and he was like zoned out, and then they're like, "Micah, look out!" And then he gets hit by like a rock, and we see his eyes we see him fuzz out, and he just falls. And we falling. He gets up. He has no idea where he is. And again, there's rains, there's little rivers. It's a miracle he's alive, and he's in the middle of nowhere.
Super dense jungle, so you can't see more than maybe 150 feet from where you're at.
And since you're in the canopy and it's raining all the time, it gets dark fast. Mm-hmm. So he wakes up, and he's like, "Oh no." But lucky for them, they started maybe at the beginning of the day, but he can tell, he looks down at his broken watch he has, and he's like, it's almost dark time. Because they don't know what the sun is. But, it's like, or they know of the sun, but it's the rare thing that they rarely see because of maybe every 100 years or so, there's breaks in the storm, and they can see the sun for 2 minutes. Like, oh my gosh! Don't look at it.
Mm-hmm. Look at it without looking at it.
Like the eclipse. You're like, oh!
Maybe there's a guy in the compound who's completely blind because he just stared at it. Worth it.
Worth it.
Yes.
What about blind old man Jenkins? It was worth it. I tell you, it was worth it. Was it really? No. Quit telling everyone I'm dead. Sorry. So I think that'd be cool. But I think, yeah, because that would be a cuter meet now. Because he's like crying. And all of a sudden we hear the rain hit a canopy sound. And he looks up and there's a face staring at him. Ah! And she's awkward because she's so like
she's not around people.
Yeah,
like,
what you doing?
Know...
She's like, oh my gosh, a person. What you doing out here? Oh, and you're so little. What? Is that what I used to look like? And she like grabs his arm. Stop that! And like smacks her hand away. Oh, you feisty. Ow. Ow, that's quite a. Oh, you must be. You're a granite worker, aren't you? You work on the stones, don't you? What's your name? You have a rock name, don't you? No, let me get Pebble. No. And he's just sitting there. And she gets up close. Granite. No, that's a girl name. Garnet. That's really a girl's name. Opal. You're just teasing me now. Micah. I think that'd be a cute meetup. I really imagine I just imagine the camera angle as him just crying.
Maybe he's swept away and he gets up and he's like, well, crap. And so he tries to climb up.
But he can't.
And he can't, and it's just muddy, and so he just slides back
down. He doesn't even know, like, which way he fell down because it's... I imagine he's, like, in this trench, and he can't tell anymore because it's just always raining. Like, he's lucky to be... Like, maybe he's, like, tangled up on, like, a tree. Like, a tree has, like... It looks like a hand.
Maybe he's in the roots of a tree.
Yeah. And it looks like the trees, like, stopped him, too. Like, it's really... And they call them the catching trees or something. They're just known for always... That, like, I'm not saying the limbs moved, but they've been known to save people of these places because when they fall, these trees catch them.
They're kind of like nets.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So imagine this. Imagine this one, everyone. Micah's sitting there, he's fallen, he's tried to get out a few times, he's crying, and I think this would be way better than I originally imagined. He sees her over some like tall grass, but grass wouldn't really work here. I mean, it could, but...
I mean, maybe some like bushes.
Yeah, but I just imagine we're looking from his point of view, and he's sitting there crying, and he's just shivering, crying, and all of a sudden we hear the rain falling, and all of a sudden we hear that canopy sound, and and a shadow is over him, and you can just see it. And when he's looking around, he turns around, and that's when we get her face. She's just like, "Hi," and it's really sad, Tim. But you know who I think would voice it, even though I told you I'm not a big fan of her voice.
Awkwafina.
Yes, and I know you might not like me for that, but for some reason, I think after hearing her in Kung Fu Panda and her being my favorite character in Kung Fu Panda 4. I would easily be like, if they did that, because she was great in Bad Guys, I think she could do it. And I know you guys might be like, Willem, how could you? But honestly, I think Awkwafina, I think they just focus on
the gravel.
The gravel sometimes, but she really does deliver. I loved her in Bad Guys, and I loved the Rava. Rava? Raya, thank you. I always say Rava. That's from Avatar.
That is from Avatar.
Either Awkwafina or...
I'm imagining... who is the actress? You know the actress... You know Della Duck? Imagining that. I'm imagining her.
I also imagined Elizabeth Olsen, the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she would do a good job too.
I feel like she could easily be an older sister, kind, motherly, and... I think she'd be really sweet. And I really think she deserves something sweet after her character was just totally... Who apparently Marvel has officially killed her off. So I'm heartbroken about it.
Yeah. I've already told you my opinion on it. She's one of my favorite... Her character is one of my favorite characters in all of the MCU.
I know. Yeah, I remember you did not...
I was very...
You did not like...
Very upset.
We did Doctor Strange, right?
We did Doctor Strange.
And you were not...
I was upset.
It's an upsetting movie. Anyway, enough about... I just think she just has that older sister who could. I just imagine an actress who could easily go quirky, like hi, and then because again, isolated, lonely, whatever. But when they're kind of talking, and I love how aloof you've made her, because he's like, "So where'd you come from?" One day, I saw, and we can even see the bird fly over. I saw one of those birds fly over, and I thought, I like its purple hat. It's not wearing a hat. It's got a purple hat. And I thought, you know what? I want a hat. And I made a purple hat. And I was off. And you're just like, what? Enough dilly-dallying. And she, like, walks off just full-on wit style. Like, enough of this. And, like, goes on. And she's like, well, she does a lot of voices. Like, at one point, she's all transatlantic when she pulls out that. Now here, my good fellow, we need a boat. We don't have a boat. And then this is where my favorite, the scene you were hoping. Oh no, I was hoping for the boat.
This is one you were hoping for.
And then she pops off her hat, shakes it out, and
you see a little
orange underneath.
Orange one underneath.
What color would his poncho? Please, we have to make it like this ugly tie dye.
Here's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that he wears just like a gray jacket or a blue shirt. Maybe some brown pants.
Well, because but they're just ruined though because of that tumble. So what would be the ugly poncho?
So
it has to be ugly.
She pulls out an ugly poncho.
Ugly.
Maybe it's like a bright yellow.
No, because I like the bright yellow, and also I just think of Jovi.
Fair. Yeah, that's true.
Tie dye, an awful attempt at tie dye.
Purple, orange, and like there's streaks of like brown in there from the mixed colors.
Because she did it wrong, and he's like, "Why is it brown?" I tried making it swirl. Well, no, she completely just pulls out a brown one. Huzzah!
There's a couple swirls.
That you can
like
kind of see the swirls, and he's like, "What?"
Yes.
I tried making it tie dye. What's tie dye? It didn't work, and just walks off. Do you want it or not? Takes it, eats it. I'm just kidding. Just some ugly, just the complete earthy. It's earthy in tone, and it just matches him. She's purple and bright, and he's just just bland. but they both still stand out in this world of green. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really cute. You said an orange hat, right?
Yes.
So I think the main goal would be she wants to see the sky. She's like, well, you're like me. You left home. And he's like, I did not leave. I fell.
But I wanted to leave.
But I wanted to leave. Well, I'm just like you. I left. You told me you fell. But I wanted to leave.
Yes. There we go.
And she just looks at him. All right, you want to come with me and find the blue sky? The sky's blue. What color did you think it was? Huh?
Gray.
Gray. Stupid.
A duh.
A duh. No, it's blue.
What color did you think it was? Wet.
Wet. It's wet. It's always wet. Well, I've heard it's blue from an old blind man in my area. Wait, you have an old blind man too? Everyone has an old blind. Because someone was always stupid and looked at the sun. Mm-hmm. Ah!
Scary noises.
Oh, scary noises.
Yes. I like that. And then...
Just there's rumors. Everyone's heard about it. Mm-hmm. Or maybe she says, let's go see the blue sky. And he's like, you know that's not true. And she's like,
It's true.
It's true. The stories are true. He's like, no, only old people and blind men say it's blue. And she just laughs. You have a blind old man in your compound too? And he's like, doesn't everybody? And I just imagine, I love how in animes, I don't know if you've watched a lot, but whenever characters will talk about another character, it will quickly show that character off screen, like on another screen, and just sneeze. And I just want that. Just at least for Old Man Jenkins. He's like, yeah, Old Man Jenkins. Just always screaming, it's like a big sneeze.
Doing the dad sneeze.
Yeah. Maybe you can see
maybe he's sitting on the toilet and he's reading something and he's like,
he's not reading, he's blind, Tim.
No, I know. That's the irony. That's the irony.
What if he sneezes so hard he can see for a second? Oh!
Yes.
You just hear, I can see! And it echoes through outside, and Violet and Micah like, did you hear something? Alright. Just keep walking.
Yes.
I don't care if that's super silly. I think
that's the point of this movie. The point of this movie is supposed to be silly.
But I think, she has been bored, and now she's bored with this world too. She's bored in the current box she's in.
Maybe it's not that she's bored. Maybe she's just
she likes to break barriers,
going on adventures, and she's trying to find certain things. Like maybe while they're talking at some point, she mentions that, yeah, I found the ruins of an old civilization.
What if she's an
cool.
excellent artist?
Oh,
but the thing is, here's the sad thing that might, and here's the sad part, the little sad thing that I want to happen now. She has all that beautiful artwork in like a notebook, and maybe she's trying to save Micah at one point or something. She has to make a decision, or something happens. Maybe it's Micah's fault or something, and the notebook gets ruined. All her artwork.
Maybe that massive bird picks him up while she's painting or while she's drawing, and maybe it's got him and the notebook, and she's like, oh, dang it, and she grabs Micah.
But you know what would be cute though? I'm just gonna throw this out here. I want to see if you're on the same wavelength. How would she paint?
With mud.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say watercolors.
That would be cute. That would be cute.
She uses watercolors, and she just sits down, and she waits for her hat to and I just imagine now this beautiful my character poster I imagine for her is her sitting there, just crisscross applesauce with this little notebook, and she's just like a little easel. And a notebook with the easel, and she's just painting, and she's looking up, and there's just a bird in the trees, and she's just drawing with watercolors. I don't know. I just imagine we'd just see at least a scene of that. It'd be cute. I really like Violet right now. She paints. She's a woman who goes, and she's telling him everything. She's like, no, come here, come underneath, and she has to come underneath. Oh, and the thing is, she can make it into a tent. She pulls out a pole and picks it up and lifts up, and it just gets and these flaps, and the flaps just fall down. She has a tent.
I'm thinking I'm imagining really, really long brown hair just hanging out from the back too, under the hat. So all you see of her hair is beneath the hat.
When she takes off,
is what's outside of the hat, because she takes off the big hat. And there's the orange hat. And she never takes off the orange hat.
But when they go camping, takes it off. Hair. Whoa! What? I don't have a haircut. I haven't taken a haircut in forever. So, okay. Oh, I'm loving this so far. Mm-hmm. I'm loving these two a lot. So, are you still okay? So this is right where this idea I was going on before I so rudely stomped on my computer. And I should say, I have it on a chair or I have it on the floor so that my microphones don't pick up my laptop screaming at us. So that's why. So every time you guys are like, Willem, how are you kicking your laptop? No, I like to just stand up and karate kick my computer.
Like I said, it went flying across the room. Broken
so
7 pieces.
Before I rudely attacked my laptop and caused us to lose a half an hour, I wanted to have at least just an old hermit. Some Cajun sound, not just anything. Just a bayou dude, just like the dudes from Avatar or Ray from Prince of Frog. That girl Violet. Who that boy with you? Is that a boy? That's a boy, right? Am I not seeing him? I see about 3 of him across. He always talks to himself. Is he real this time? That's a real boy, right? Not one of my hallucinations. Like, he just says the word completely wrong. My hallucinations. You mean hallucinations? Whatever. He's just... Maybe she goes to get, like, watercolors from him or something.
Yeah, I like that. He sells paint.
He's a paint. He just makes... So what do you do? I make paint. And... Oh. And he sells it to all the colonies. Best. He just lives on his own, and
maybe he doesn't live outside. Maybe he lives in like this cave, in at the base of the mountain that they're gonna climb, and he's got his cave is connected to all of the colonies through a single tube.
I would say the only counter argument would be that I don't want them to. I want her trying to find this mountain, but it's really hard to find a mountain because you can't see nothing in a rainforest. Because maybe Micah can ask her at one point, "Why don't we climb to find the mountain or anything?" And she's like,
I guess you're right. So maybe he lives. Maybe there's a really, really big tree that he lives in.
He's hollowed out.
He's hollowed out the bottom.
Yeah, kind of like the tree in Avatar.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not hollowed out, but he's like, yeah, it's just this dude. He's making a stew. We see like pieces of these like weird crabs and all these other little fish type thing, and he's like, like just. I just imagine just like a mix between Ray and the mouse who gives Evinrude the alcohol in the first Rescuers movie.
I haven't seen that since I was like 8.
I just imagine like just some old bayou loving, like he's got suspenders on, doesn't really have a shirt because he don't care, and he's also got his own version of the hat.
Small brown one.
Yeah, small brown one. It's a little different.
It's got a hole in it.
It's got a hole. He's got a patch over his leg. He's got a patch over his butt, like that typical cartoon. We see the patch like fall off, but then it shows his underwear underneath, like typical animated redneck type thing. I don't know. I just want them to interact with him at one point, but I do think that the big thing is I want the lesson learned to be, I don't know, there's always going to be more stuff to discover. I don't know, what would be the lesson? What do we want people to feel after this movie? Like, to go on an adventure? Adventures out there sort of thing?
To explore nature, I think. To enjoy nature, hiking, camping.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just really like the idea that he's trying to complain to her, but she's done everything that he wants to do. So she's just always like, do it.
Maybe he's a little bit pessimistic, and she's just always optimistic, and she's just.
Oh yeah. Again, she's flowy, Violet.
Yeah. He's, we can't do that. That's not possible. And she's like,
we don't have a boat. She pulls out her hat. You have another hat? Do I have another hat?
She pulls off the orange one. There's a little blue one underneath.
He's like, is there a hat under that one? She goes, I'm not taking it off. She's like about to. No. Like Doc and Shu from Avatar.
Yes.
There's Doc. My brother, Bushi. Anyway, I just think I think we're making pretty good time. I think we can probably wrap this one up pretty fast.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like that short of an episode, but also we took away 30 minutes of the planning, so I think...
On it doesn't need to be a long episode.
No. It's just sad because we just lost that talking and a few tangents, but it's fine. We can always get rid of the tangents. So, just climbing up that mountain. And I think I would want... Do we want them to reach... So how would the movie end? Because I imagine they see the blue sky, and so what... How is this going to end?
Not the blue sky. I want it to be the stars. And then she makes like a comment, or Micah makes a comment, and he's like, it's like frozen rain. It's like the rain is frozen.
What if they both didn't even suspect stars? What if they keep saying the blue sky, and when they get up, they're like, and he goes, "Dang it, the sky's black." Like he's like, or he like teases her at first, like, "You were wrong, the sky's black. You owe me like." They like bet on it. Like
you owe me you owe me an adventure,
yeah, or something. Like you owe me it. Like you owe. Oh, or
maybe
you promised to take me home or something.
Or she turns to him and she's like, "You owe me a new set of watercolors."
I kind of want that to be maybe they're climbing down, and then that's the big conflict at the end is something happens, because I want that. I don't know. I either want, but I just imagine this scene. I love how you said the stars, because I imagine he gets up, he crosses up, and I imagine she kind of broke, because there's that, I imagine there's that, because if any of you have been hiking, you get to fog.
Yeah.
And, finally, he's kind of fallen behind, and she's just yammering on. She's kind of getting ahead, and we see her climbing up, and she's like, "It's gonna be blue," and like I've heard that it has cotton candy in the sky, and at certain times they turn different colors. It's gonna be amazing, so many colors, and you can even imagine. And all of a sudden, like she's just yammering. He's like yammering on and on. And he's like yeah, like behind her, and she gets ahead. He's getting tired because he's just a stonemason kind of dude. He doesn't really do a lot. He keeps slipping. And then finally, she's and he's noticed, like, it's quiet. She's not yammering. And he gets up and he pokes it. And I imagine, like, the animated, like, there's the cloud. And then, poof, Micah's head. And he looks around. Oh! And he starts, like, like, starts laughing. Because he can just see clouds. And then he goes, "It's dark." And he looks up. And he starts laughing even more. And he gets up to her. And he's like, "Oh my goodness, Violet, you were wrong. It's not you owe me." And he's like, "Finally, I beat," like, because maybe throughout the whole movie, she's just been right about everything and warning him, and he's been sick of it. But finally, Micah's right about something. He gets up, kind of gives her a friendly, like, punches up the shoulder. "I finally got you." And he looks at her, and she's just crying. And he's like, "Violet?" And he looks up. And stars. Like Jean Valjean moment, not Jean Valjean. Javert, just the stars. You're just like, oh. And I'm talking like Tarzan scene, Brother Bear scene, like just as beautifully animated as you guys can imagine. Like Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa talking to this guy. Like it is beautiful. And the thing is, I don't want the watercolors to be gone because I want her to sit down.
Maybe she loses painting. The watercolors before they meet up with Ray, and then he gives her new watercolors.
Maybe, or maybe I think she's just restocking. And it's funny because she wanted to get all the colors. Because she's like, "I finally found it, Ray. I finally found I'm going to go up. I'm going to see the blue sky." And he's like, and maybe Ray's like, "I told you, it's green, girl. It's going to be green." She's like, "Well, I'll paint it for you. Don't worry. I trust you. Bless you for doing that," kind of thing. Like everyone, like they've always had this, and maybe even a few, maybe other wanderers or whoever. Everyone just has different bets about it. Because again, only like a few people, but no one ever sees it. It's very rare. Or maybe no one has ever seen it. But I don't want her to lose the watercolors because I want her to be like, "This is more beautiful than I can ever imagine." And she sits down and starts painting. And I want the sad thing to be that she loses all those things. And I know she's probably going to go back. I don't know. I want it to like...
I think maybe she loses her note. Maybe she loses most of her old paintings while they're climbing up the mountain. And so she's kind of upset about that. She's like, "You know what? I can paint them again."
Well, and that would be ironic for her character too, because she can always travel again. And she'll like see the upside of it later. Or maybe he'll like lift her up like, "Hey, maybe
you can take me and we can paint
and he sits there yeah, like, I just want to, like, I want it to be, I don't want it to be Micah's fault that she lost her books. I think the bird could be ironic if it's like that big purple I'll just call it the canopy bird. Or the hat bird. I'll call it the canopy bird. And I just imagine the big purple canopy bird. I don't know if I want it to be her symbol. I mean, it could be. Because it could be like... I don't know. Because I don't want it to be like confrontation. I don't know, because I imagine Ted and Curious George. He has that moment where George has kind of messed up his day. Many days. All this crap's going wrong with George and Ted, and then when the animal control takes him away, he lets them, and then he has like a... Well, I think I want to end the movie with Micah returning home, because he's young. But...
No, I don't want him to return home. I want him to be... I want the movie... Here's how I'm imagining the movie's going to end.
Okay.
They get up. They see the stars. They sit there for a while. You know, she paints. Fall asleep. The next morning, they get up. He admires what she's painted. He makes some comment about how weird it is that it's not raining.
Yeah, they're dry. Like, it's dry. The
sun.
The sunrise.
Comes up. And she's like, it's pretty. Don't stare at it.
Don't stare at it.
Okay.
We'll end up like Old Man Jenkins.
You just hear the sneeze.
We have to have it 3 times. Old Man Jenkins sneezes 3 times.
Maybe Bayou Dude mentions him.
I had a good buddy named Jenkins growing up. He got blind from the sun. So you don't want him?
No, I don't want him to go home. I want the movie to end. They're talking. You know, the sun's coming up. Maybe they're eating, and he's, you know, she's like, I did it, and then he's gonna say, all right, time to go. My turn to explore.
Well,
show me. So show me the world you've painted. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
So here's my counter argument for it. The ending is, I still want him to go on adventures with her, but he's little.
I mean, she was younger than him when she left.
I know, but maybe I don't want her, but I want her to be like And it would be funny though so imagine the sunrise, don't stare at it, and then she's like, all right, time to take you home. And he goes, what? And anyway, they're like talking, and just hear me out for it. And she like walks like, you know how to get me home the entire time? Yeah, I've been doing this for 15 like however long, you know, blah blah blah. Like, gets him home, and I just imagine like he's kind of sad, but everyone, like, his family feels relieved. But I want all of a sudden, like the next day or whatever, like seriously, like the next day, everyone's like murmuring, and we just see this purple hat coming through the crowd, and she goes, ugh, it's so stuffy in here. And, you know, she's like, all right, let's go. And he's like, what? Well, you ruined all my paintings, so you're going to help me paint some more. And then, like, she smiles, and then the music picks up, and wham. So, just kind of like, and the only reason why I say that is because, again, with little kids, I wouldn't want them to be like,
the stranger danger.
And just run off. Right. But I imagine, like, and it would be a cute scene, like, Micah, you have a guest. She goes, hi. And, you know, the parents are like, you must be Violet, blah, blah, blah. And, like, thank you so much for bringing him home. And she goes, well, your son owes me. And they go, what? He ruined my watercolors. And the mom goes, you did what? Like, I don't know, like something like that. And and I just imagine, like, they've always known he's a daydreamer. And they just go and they trust this woman. I just want there to have that good trust. And you just see the dad go, oh yeah, he owes you. Don't you, son? And he's like, and he kind of smiles. Yeah. You have to go on some, you got to go help Miss Violet get her paintings back, right? Yeah. You promise you're going to be back. Like, and I meant, like, imagine, like, and, like, she looks at, and you look at him, you promise to bring him back for visits? Of course. All right. Go get some paintings. And then I imagine the end credit scenes would be all the pictures.
All of her paintings.
The paintings that the parents are hanging up, and it's like bringing color inside the compound.
Yeah.
And we even see like, and then even like we just see like the final thing is we see like her guiding a bunch of people, and we see all these people from the village following their ugly ponchos, and then we see him following in just a bright blue poncho or something like that.
I like it.
So
I like it.
And that's our little rendition of Girl in the Purple Hat.
Yeah. There were a couple names. So I asked AI to give me a few names for a story about a boy who follows a girl in a massive purple hat on an adventure in a rainy world. And there were a couple names, like a couple titles that I thought were kind of cute. Obviously, the girl in the purple hat was one. Rainbound Adventures, but that sounds more kind of like a TV show. Violet Trails in the Rain.
Oh.
The Purple Hat. Just the Purple Hat. Purple Rain.
Oh.
And Puddles in Pursuit.
I do love the Purple Rain, I'll be honest, but
I do like Purple Rain.
But people are going to be like, oh, it's ripping off Prince. But I imagine that Purple Rain would be like somewhere in the movie, or like even like it would just be the instrumental. Like, you know the song? Do you know that song?
I know the song.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm imagining. You know what stuck in my head? And watercolors. I don't know why, but I've been thinking of watercolors.
Painted purple. I want the word purple.
You want the word purple?
I do want the word purple. Painted purple sounds awesome.
I like painted purple. Painted purple. Painted purple. Okay, I think that's the...
Yeah, I like it. Painted purple.
Do you want painted purple or paint it purple?
Painted.
Okay. Because I just imagine at one point she's like, let's paint it purple. No, why? What is with you in purple?
Make it blue.
Make it blue.
Make it pink.
I don't know. I think... Okay, painted purple or paint it purple? I think painted purple would be funny. No, painted purple. Painted purple.
Painted, and then she can say paint it purple. Like maybe he's asking what... Like she's teaching him how to paint. And he's like, what... Or she's like, what color are you going to make it? He's like, I don't know. Paint it purple.
No. Like he's like, oh man, what? I'm out of this. What color should I use? Purple. Like, and I just imagine she just always has purple. Like that's the one she always has most. And like even when she goes to see Old Man Ray, like, do you have any more? Girl, I always got purple just for you. The only reason I'm still alive is because you buy all my purple. Stupid. Mm-hmm. But yeah, painted purple.
Painted purple.
A story of Violet and Micah. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's cute. And I'm imagining it's very bright, very, very colorful, very vibrant colors.
Because I imagine all the animals have colors.
Yeah.
The birds, the animal furs. Like I imagine like most of the fur is like... But yeah, all the birds, bugs, just bright colors.
Yeah. Like,
you know, the bugs in Lion King, like that's how I'm imagining it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I like that one. That was fun.
That was
fun. I think we're getting better at this.
I would agree.
We definitely, sadly, did lose that half an hour, but...
That's okay.
I think it helped summarize this episode a lot faster, and that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry about not getting an episode out last week.
Yeah.
Willem and I were both on vacation.
It was wonderful.
So.
Oh yeah, I forgot we explained that in the 30 minutes I lost. So hopefully maybe I'll find it and then I can just mesh it together. Smash it with a hammer. But anything else you want to say to them?
Not really. I mean, like always, be kind, love each other. Try to do some good in the world, and remember to paint it purple.
I like that. Paint it purple. Be purple. And until next time, we'll see you later, pitches. Bye.